So they're just doing what they know. They're doing the best they can. That's what Cryon says too. They love their children, and you gotta go a little faster than this. Maybe they're good people. I mean, they're well-meaning. I mean, I was a Christian. I was well-meaning. I was a pain in the ass, though. But I was just following what religion taught all along, what our religion taught, because it's been messed up for so long. I didn't know that it was messed up right at the beginning. So we have a thinking in the West that it starts out bad and it gets better and better and better over time. So the further back you go, the worse it is. And that's what my thinking was, and I think that's what the general thinking is of history. It's just like technology, things get invented, but it's really not that way. We had it better. It was better at one time, and then we lost everything. We even lost inventions. I mean, they had concrete, and then they lost it, and then they had to reinvent it again. So, I mean, the reality of how history is that we've gained and lost maybe several times. And so you can't just say everything at the beginning was bad and everything at the end is good. Because, I mean, the whole concept of Christianity is Jesus or Yeshua came and improved everything. Improved on what was there. And that's not the case. He did come to try to set things right, but they kind of stole his teachings, and it went down, and it's been going down for centuries, and now just in the last 100 or less years, 80 years, 60 years, it started to improve, and they think the improvements are backtracking. Christians, the traditional Christians, the traditional ones think that the changes that we've made in the last 60 years are bad. Uh-oh. What the heck? They don't have their history right. It's messed up. And they don't know that the elites got in and took over. They changed things that should have never been changed, and they think our religion's immune from that, and it's not. No religion's immune from it. They didn't do Hinduism. They didn't get it as bad. I think they got into it, but it wasn't a top-down thing, so they could get into one denomination, but they'd have to get into every one of them. Whereas in Christianity, they had popes. All they had to do was get the pope. Back then, there was only one main line, and all they had to do was get the church. And the governments kind of had centralized control back then in the West. So all they had to do was get the pope. They could take over the church. They could convince the Pope. They got it. Whereas in India, you had to convince each town, each priest in every area, and they could say no. They made some changes though, but the thing is they weren't as bad. They weren't able to do as much damage because Hinduism and Buddhism are not set up with a top-down control. The control is more local, and it's to protect it from that kind of damage. Wow, this is quite a thing. We're going into the hills now. And that's why Hinduism is, and it's true. Hinduism is true. And if you are true, I think it's going to be harder to change it because the truth is within our hearts. And the only thing is we did have the truth. The only thing is it was new. Yeshua came and taught us basically what they believed in India, but a simplified version of it maybe. And they were able to nip it in the bud. The elites were able to nip it in the bud. The prevailing religion of Europe was not good. I mean, it had all these humanistic gods, and they imposed that on Christianity, and because it was so easy, it was already in the culture. So, you know, I wonder if they tried to warn against that. They probably did. But in India, they had already overcome that kind of thing, apparently. So we're at 712.2 miles. It's 11:10. So let us honor the ancestors that came before us. It's almost 11:11. Om Amriteshwarye Namaha. We offer this trip as an honoring to the ancestors. Thanksgiving for getting this far and for a good life. We give thanks for another day. We just have this time to honor God within, the God within us. It's 11:11. Chion's number.